Cassandra Donnelly from Creative Passages. I'm a mixed media artist, and today I want to talk about collage. I'm really excited to do a collage tonight. It's already like 11:10 p.m. and my evening has not gone as planned. I just now got in the art room, but I have new papers and I just really do a lot of collage in my life, and I haven't really made a lot of videos about the collage process, so I thought maybe I would talk a little bit about it, my process, and also demonstrate. I've got this new Momigami paper pack that I got from Jerry's Artorama. You can also get it on Amazon, but Jerry's had it like $2 cheaper. I think it was like $32 for this 1 pound pack of nice Momigami paper. And so I was thinking I might actually do my collage on one of these white pieces right here. I'm going to cut it down. I'm thinking I want to put this in my journal, so that's 8.5 by 9.5. So this is Momigami paper. It's Momigami paper, sort of looks like mulberry paper. You've got these little fibers in here, so it's sometimes hard to tell it apart. But this I know is, this whole pack is Momigami paper. So anyway, so I'm going to do that, and I wanted to show you some collages that I've been working on this week. So this is one of the collages right here. I like to, well, I do collages at work with the people that are in the hospital, a psychiatric hospital. So I like to do collage every Wednesday. And doing that, I usually always start a collage to demonstrate how it's done. So all of these were started that way, and then I finished them later. But we also have these new graphic pencils that I've been playing around with, and I'm also going to order some for myself. But this is, I think it was a Lyra big fat graphic pencil, and I like the 9B, the really soft one. So the graphic pencil blends really well with the oil pastels. So in my collages, I like to start off with like random scribbles and loose marks. And when I do this, you know, with the people at the hospital, I try to encourage them to not really try to make anything pretty necessarily, but just to use it as an opportunity to release their stress. And plus, we don't have a lot of time in our groups. We have like 45-minute groups. So when I start these, I'm not really paying attention to composition a whole lot. I'm just kind of making scribbles, making marks, showing them how to blend things, showing them how to glue the papers down to thick and thin papers, etc. But some of the things I like to do, of course, are the scribbles. Now that's called sgraffito there, when you layer your oil pastels and scratch into them. That's one of the techniques I really like. Another thing I like to do is lots of mark making. So I will use marks already on papers, and then I will also try to mimic those lines elsewhere. Let me see if I can find a good example here. So actually, yeah, so this is that paper, okay, and then this is a mark I made to match that paper to kind of bring those lines over, so it's just red, you know, in brown, rust colored, and black oil pastels with the white dots and some of the black dots to mimic that. So I can take the lines and designs that I see elsewhere and then play them out in my collage. This one doesn't have a lot of that though, so let me find another one. So this one here does show that a little bit. So the papers themselves had lines and marks, like this orange paper here had the little leaves, and so the paper ends right here. But to kind of integrate one space into the next, because there's a sharp line right here, I sometimes will draw in the rest of the design. And so I took a permanent marker and then colored in the rest of this. And then I'll also draw those same kind of like maybe shapes elsewhere. In this case, what I did is I outlined all of the shapes on the papers, and then I also outlined my own drawings as well. And then I did a lot of like doodles in this one as well, and a lot of mark making. I'm really into the mark making because it's fun and it's a really good way to reduce the stress. And that was a sgraffito, but what I did later is I went over it with pen, with Sharpie. Now you're wondering, okay, so I do a lot of oil pastels in my collage, and you might be wondering, how do you go over oil pastels with Sharpie? Well, the answer is you put some clear gesso over top of it, maybe 1 or 2 coats, let it dry, and then you can mark it with your Sharpies or, you know, other types of pens. You do need to do this because it will ruin your Sharpie if you don't do that, and it won't work. So I like to do that. Now the thing about the clear gesso is it's not 100% clear, so your colors will become just a little bit more dull. Now you can later go back over it with more oil pastels to brighten them up. This one seems okay. This one, I have that upside down. This one, after all the mark making, you know, in the clear gesso, it was just a little bit duller, so I went back in with more oil pastels. And this is a good example of how I took some of the designs that were on the paper and I mimicked them. So this one here has those circles with the pink and the gold. So what I did is I drew something similar over here with like orange and green. I softly mimic those colors. And also these little leaves right here, the paper kind of ends right here, and then I extended these leaves over here, and then I drew in, you know, more leaves similar like over here. And then this one right here, this pink flower, was on the paper, I believe, but I outlined it with Sharpie, and then I drew similar pink flowers like elsewhere. And so I like to kind of spread out the design sometimes, and that can make integration. So you see like this pattern right here with the pink I drew over here, and this was some gold that didn't show up that well from the paper, so I went back over it with another gold metallic pen and then retraced it with Sharpie. And I just did a lot of like mark making and doodles in this particular one. And I think those doodles and mark making, those random lines are a lot of fun. So you could see I went kind of crazy with this one. And then this one is from today. Well, all of them, most of them I finished today, but I didn't start today. And I did this one with the teenagers, showing them how to do that. They really love this one, although it's not necessarily my favorite. And so you can see sgraffito, where I layered the oil pastels and scratched into it. And I also use that graphic pencil to make shadows, and it's fun. So I have this little pattern here. I put another little piece down here to kind of just pull that pattern down a little bit, integrate the space, and then you've got another little piece over here, and then we've got, you know, doodles and just random white lines. So these white lines that kind of go through multiple sections sort of, in my opinion, integrates it just a little bit more. So I just thought I'd share some of those ways that I approach the collage. When it gets too busy, I can calm it down with harmonizing colors, or I can always put more layers on top of it. Sometimes I like to put like thin tissue paper on top of it, or oil pastels, which if you spread out with your fingers will become thin, and then you can kind of harmonize it. But I mean, there's a lot of colors in this one, but I like it that way, so I'm going to leave this one alone. And now I want to create another one, and I may or may not be able to do it in real time. We'll see how long it takes me. Alright, I'm gonna just do some doodles with this Sharpie. I have to keep in mind that I need to do something simple. Typically, well, I feel kind of rushed right now, and typically I wouldn't be quite as rushed, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. So at this point, I'm doing what you call just activating. I'm not trying to make anything in particular. This may completely be covered up. It may not be. But sometimes I like to do these little squiggles, and I can kind of make them thicker if I want to. I'm feeling a little bit anxious at the moment because we've got some impending health issues, you know, happening within my family. Possibly ear visits. Not. Things I've had to pray over, take authority over. So if, you know, my lines are scratchy, scribbly, you know, it's okay. And if there's anxiety there, it's okay. Mark making is just really good for anxiety. So right now I'm not feeling very like neat and pristine. I'm feeling kind of sloppy and stressed. But yet, I don't necessarily, I mean, these lines are kind of okay. They're not horrible. I've never really done a collage on the origami paper before, so that's going to be new for me. My trauma journal is really thick. So I thought, well, let's see, because I could use thick watercolor paper. You know, you can't really go wrong with that, especially if you want to put a lot of heavy layers on it. Maybe even sell it later. But this is for my trauma journal, which is already pretty thick, so I'm going to try to not make it too thick, if at all possible. I already do a lot of layers, so we're just going to see what happens. I'm going to be using cellulose glue today, because cellulose glue works pretty well, and it'll keep my pages from sticking together, you know, once they're dry. So I do like these, you know, doodle marks. I do. This, you could say, is like asymmetric writing. Hopefully I'm saying that right. You're not really writing anything. It's not really anything. It's just meant to look like something. Alright, so we got that on there. Now what I want to do is take my Duet charcoal, and I want to just put some marks on here. Oh! Okay, that was much darker than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why. What was I thinking? I guess I was thinking it would be a lot lighter than that. That's okay, though. Took me by surprise. Let's see here. Oh, this gold. I do kind of like the edginess of it. And you know what? I think I want to rough this up with some Distress Oxide inks. Oh, I like this color. Some more scribbles. Now that feels like it got out some feelings right there. Now, another thing I got from Jerry's was this high flow drawing lettering. I'm not ready for that yet, though. Let me see. Let me move my awagami pile. I got the frayed burlap. Let's put that on there. My mat got a little wobbly. I don't know what happened to it. I need a new mat. Okay, so that was frayed burlap. Now we want brushed corduroy. What's cool about the frayed burlap is that it like turns white when you spray it with water. And I'm gonna just sprinkle a little bit of water droplets on it. Just so cool. In fact, I might even like try writing with the water. That might be super cool. Now, I feel like I need some, well, let's do crayons. Caran d'Ache Neocolor 1 crayons. I really want to get out the oil pastels, but right now let's get out the crayons. These crayons are really nice. I never used to be into crayons till I got this. What I like about this is that the color is going to stay put even when I add more wet media on top of it. Let's get some contrast like with the white. Kind of like the scratch right here. Let's put in some bright yellow patches. And some turquoise patches. And I'm feeling the color orange right now. Let's put in some orange lines here. I'm feeling like I may need to dry this before I can resume. Let's add some light blue to it. I like these light blue lines. It's really, really hot in here too. But if I turn on the fan, you can't hear me really well. So I'm gonna bear through it. And let's do really need to trim this. I'm feeling this rust color right now too. Oopsie. So my approach is usually chaotic before it gets organized. Sometimes I just gotta let the chaos out a little bit. I kind of want to spray it with, I thought it was a little cooler, but it feels hot. Kind of want to spray it with, well, this doesn't spray. I want to splatter it with this. And I'm gonna just spread the water just a little bit. Now I'm really feeling to add some paint. Oh, and I got this new Prussian blue today. I definitely want to do that. But before we do the Prussian blue, I'm going to add this flesh colored Soho. And I feel like I would like something like this to scrape it through. This is a cake decorating tool. It's not right there. Oh, it's got brown up from something else I did, I guess. That's kind of satisfying. I kind of want to add some ink, sumi ink to this. But maybe more precise colors. Let's see here. This should be interesting. What happens with this thing? It yeah. You might say, "Oh, this is a mess. It's so ugly," but you know, sometimes it's got to be ugly before it can be pretty. Sometimes it might not ever get pretty. That's okay though, because sometimes it's just, you know, your stress needs to come out. I try not to worry about the outcome. Like if it turns out pretty, great. If it doesn't, then it's just an expression. So okay, so we got some of this Prussian blue here. Let's do that. And I want a little bit of thicker paintbrush. This is Amsterdam, by the way. I've just lately really been into the Prussian blue. Oh. That. I like how the Prussian blue interacts with the rust color there, and I'm gonna just thin it out just a little bit. I'm gonna let those turn into like a solid space. So sometimes you can like have like a lot of details, and then you can go back and create more solids to make it things less busy. I tend to be really busy, but there's strategies that you can later like clean it up some and make it less busy. I kind of like how these colors are mixing together. It's really cool in my opinion. I love these. I really do like these colors together. They're kind of hitting the spot. I'm starting to feel more relaxed now. Yeah, I like how this like peach kind of fades into the blue. But yet there's still some like thick lines in there. Okay, so I have that for now. Now, let's see here. I want to put some... Alright, this little strip right here is calling out to me. Looks like they don't have a lot of these strips in this package, but that's okay. This one's so pretty. Let's find a spot for it. And I'm going to use my cellulose glue. I was going to dry it first, but so much for that idea. Let's put it right here. And let's put another one right here. And I see this little piece of like rust or brown. Let's put that right there. And let's put another piece right here. Like this little piece of black. I'll put that right here. Or do I want it down? I don't know. Let's see. We'll put it right here. We got some bright orange lines right here. I'm just going to put it right here. That other paint is not dry. That's okay. It doesn't bother me. If these colors seem too bright, I can later go back over them with something else. There's some watercolor paper that I painted a long time ago. I don't know if I want that there or not. Let's put it right here. Oh, you know what I feel now is this, this blue paper and this yellow paper right here. And also this gold paper right here. White and gold. Oh, and that red too. And this brown as well. Look at these pretty colors right here. Oh, and that turquoise. Look at these papers. Okay. Well, let's do the turquoise. Oh, I love this paper. This is nice. Okay. So, let's just put a piece down right here. It's kind of cool because it has such nice texture. And it's Momigami paper too. So it's awagami paper that's been colored and then Momigami'd. Let's get some of this yellow in here. Now this blue is much, much thicker right here. Okay. Let's put a piece right here. Wow, this is almost too thin, too thick to even tear. Wow. I wonder if they use... I got blue all over my hands. There's blue on... It's because I put this next to the paint. Wow. Super thick. Okay. I like this piece, so let's put it right here. Kind of want another of it, but I wish it wasn't so hard to tear. Ugh. And I'm gonna take this thick This is a piece of watercolor paper that has some kind of mark on it. Right now, everything's just kind of random. I'll put that down there. So sometimes I just kind of random and then I pull it together. So I've got this paper, kind of like it right here. I love this like vellum and stuff. I want to get more of it. I've got a piece of light turquoise and orange right here. That might look good somewhere. I don't want to cover up all that though. Let's put it right here. And maybe another little leaf shape right there. I don't know. Just leave it there. There's more of this paper down here. Again, I said I wanted some of these papers, right? I love gold. These gold little spots are really cool. Like that there. Let's get some more out here. Kind of wants to stay there, doesn't it? Let's see. Let's add some of this brown paper. I'm seeing sort of an earthy vibe coming on here. I really like kind of these mix of these colors. I think I might add more like that Prussian blue paint somewhere. The earthy vibes are really relaxing because it reminds me of being in the woods, you know, where I can just feel so much peace. There's a little bit of blue paint that got on this paper, and I'm going to try just making some marks with it. That's actually kind of cool like that. Because it's reminiscent of these stripes right here. So I like that. And I'm kind of integrating some of these other papers by doing that, I think. Spreading this blue out so, you know, it's not just a little square there. Just creating a little bit of texture with the paint as well. Okay, so now let's add maybe just, let's see, we've got another, this gold, right, the brown and gold flowers, really cool. Let's put that right here. Maybe add a few of that elsewhere. Maybe one more. How about right there? I like the back side of this. Kind of matches that color there. Let's put that right here. I almost want to make like a little petal type shape. Look right here. Okay. Now I kind of feel like maybe at this point I should dry it and then maybe get out my oil pastels, and then from there figure out what I want to do. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, this is what we have so far. And I want to add some oil pastels, but then I was thinking, let's add some of this jelly prints of mine on just regular scrap paper, like butcher paper. So I'm going to add just a few pieces of this because I like how blotchy it is and textured. So I'm going to add some of that. Alright, so I only need a few pieces of this. I like this little pink right here. I do think it's a nice complementary color to this, and I just love the texture of that. And I have to figure out where I want it. I may want it here. I think I like it there. I feel like, oh yeah, it brings kind of that part of it out too. Let's put that right here. Yeah, and it kind of integrates these pinks a little bit more. Put that there. And then I wanted to also use some of this black right here as well. Maybe just, I'm thinking a little bit of a rectangle. Now I've got like the straight line going down visually right here. I'm not sure what that's about, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to put another piece right here. So now I've got this, it almost looks like I've divided my, I don't know, just how this line going down here. Kind of like that there. Let's put it right there. And you know what else I really, really love is this right here. And the scissors are right here. And I used this in jelly printing the other day, but I kind of like how it's painted. So it's going to be really hard to go back over this with the oil pastel though. So maybe I should wait to put that on as a final touch. I do love that though. That's so cool. So let me go ahead and grab my oil pastels. These are Gallery Artist oil pastels. And just love that. Let's just kind of create some interesting colors and integrate things a little bit better. I love just layers and layers of color. And we've already decided this is kind of like nature-y in some ways. I'm going to do like a blue over here. And then another blue right here. Maybe I'll try in some of that pink right here. Maybe I'll take this color here. I don't know, there's something magical about the oil pastels. Just really magical. And maybe I'll do just a little bit of sgraffito like right here. Maybe I should have done the lighter blue. Where's my light blue? Oh, I like that. So let's do this. And then I would just kind of use my fingernails to scratch into it. Yeah, that kind of hits the spot right there. Oops, I wanted to do the darker color. And you see, it's just so liberating, you know? It's just so fun. And I didn't get enough glue on that one. This might not take me as long as I thought. That is, if I don't overwork it. Let's see. I was going to use semi ink, huh? I don't know. Let's take this, a little bit of this brown and bring it down here. That is cool. I like that. That light blue really shows up well. I feel like I need that color somewhere else. Maybe that shape elsewhere? I'm not sure. I feel like that needs something dark around it. Like maybe a dark brown. Yep, I like that. I like that. Maybe a dark brown right here. Of course, I don't want to do that. I don't want to cover up the whole thing. Okay. You know, like a white jelly pen might look nice with this. I got this yellow, and I don't have that yellow too many spots. Oh, look at that, those lines. That's a lovely color with the green and stuff and the pink. I love that. I'm going to do some lines going this way. Whoopsie. I've got this interesting color. I feel like I need just a little bit more of it. I like these curvy lines. Oh, this is tough. Now what do I want? I think I need more of these dark blue lines somewhere in here. I'm telling you, expression is so just fun. And yeah, I love that. I love how I took these red lines right here. And I want to add just a little bit more light right in here. Those spots right there. The other thing nice is to create like a contrast between like dark areas and light areas. I'm going to maybe put this black. Adding shadows to things just really makes them kind of pop. I'm going to add just a little bit of shadows to this outer edge of this shape right here. And right here. Maybe this shape. Often I like to add like a black border to my art there. I'm actually liking this. It is kind of crinkling up on me. And it's tempting to want to Momigami it. But I thought maybe I could put just a few crinkles and folds in it and then put something dark in those cracks. I have to decide if I really want to do that. I really have to think about what I want here. That yellow really stands out. I thought I had yellow elsewhere, but so far that's the only yellow I see in here. I feel like it needs just a little bit more maybe to be integrated, or maybe I could just color the yellow on, like right in here. Wow, yeah, that works. Soften it up. Got this bright pop of yellow. That's interesting. That's kind of out there by itself. We could do a little bit of pop white right over here, just to kind of give it a little balance. Yeah, I like that idea. Part of me still wants to try the sumi ink. I've got this little thing I can put it in. I don't want too much. It's probably enough. And I've got got my pick of either a glass pen or a bamboo pen. Let's try the glass one. I'm not doing much, am I? Maybe I should try to change those marks. That's kind of fun. Kind of like the scrapes with the black in there. Let's do a little bit over here. Kind of like these marks going down that way. I'm not getting very good marks here. Oh yeah, that's better. Maybe that was a little too thick. Alright, I'm gonna blow dry it, and then I think I might put a few folds in there and then maybe try to take something gold into the cracks. Alright, this is what we have so far. And I want to maybe put just a few little cracks in there and do like some gold in the cracks, almost like the Kintsugi method where you repair the broken pottery. It's like, I mean, despite all the stress, you know, God holds us together and fixes us. So let me figure out how I want to do that. Alright, so let me, I don't want to completely Momigami. Just it's already kind of like wrinkled up anyway. That's why I thought it might be kind of cool. So, let me figure out how not to get carried away with this. I'm trying to figure out what I want for my gold. I have some gold liquid watercolor. Oh, I know. I have high flow lettering paint, which I've never used before. Maybe I'll put the high flow on it, and maybe it'll seep into the cracks. I've never used it before, so it'll be a little bit of a risk, but this is how I would go about Momigamiing it completely. I would just keep doing this till I get enough wrinkles in there, or lines, and then I would start to fold it up. See, this gold, iridescent bright gold. Wow. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's try it on here. This is going to be fun. Now, I wonder if it'll like seep into the... Let's, I want to take a brush and paper towel. The goal is I want it to seep in the cracks there. I kind of like how it matches that though. I'm not 100% sure I'm doing this the right way. Oh, and I said I was going to use this, right? I was going to use that piece. Which is, I don't know what I do with it. Maybe it was this piece I was going to use. See, I don't want this that dark. I just want it. Way too much. Oh, I wonder what... That's cool though. I like the gold in there. Let's see what happens if I add some water to it. If it's going to thin down some and seep in those cracks. I don't know, but it's cool. I kind of want it to go in the cracks. I want it to be very soft and gentle. want this high flow to go to waste. We're going to have to make some marks with it. This will be something I can collage with later. Alright, piece of collage paper. Those were pretty colors together. Let me dry it, and then I'm thinking about adding a little sparkle to this. So I was thinking about adding some sparkles to it, but I might have changed my mind. Because there's something like very earthy and just kind of muted down, and I'm thinking maybe the sparkles are just not gonna go with the vibe of it. I like sparkly things, but I kind of like the way this looks now. I'll take a better look at it tomorrow, maybe in the light. I'm thinking what I'll do is put it under some heavyweight books so it can lay flat. See this part right here? I really like that part, how I did those little red marks on top of it. Oops. I think I'm satisfied with it. It might be done. Well, other than me signing my name to it, so we'll see what happens. I can reassess it tomorrow. I also wanted to show you this collage from a week ago. I call this one Acceptance. The other ones I haven't titled. But this one I started, well, it was a previous, rough looking collage, some like the other ones I just showed you. But then during my workshop, which we just had like a art ministry workshop, normally I teach and I preach, and then we follow up with art making on a set topic, but today we just had sort of like an open art fellowship group. Well, I mean the day that I made this. So I took a collage I already started and then added lots and lots of marks and embellishments to it. And I indulged myself this way. And I made it like so busy, but I didn't even worry about it. But then later what I did is I took some of the orange and the yellow orange pieces of mulberry paper and tissue paper in yellow, and well, actually that's a jelly print right there. And I just kind of put it over some of the marks, covered over some things, like that's a jelly print right there of mine. And then just kind of calmed it down a little bit. And I added just a few more collage pieces too. That blue one there is a jelly print of mine. And then we've got just scrapbooking paper with the words. And then we've got an old hymnal. And then we've got more scrapbooking paper like with the little butterflies and the clock. And then that's a jelly print, that brown with the spots. Yeah, so I, took some of this gold right here from this paper and I extended it out and upwards and just did stuff like that. And usually if I'll use one piece of paper, like that pink paper with the flowers, I'll try to put it somewhere else, like there, just to kind of, I don't know, create sort of a flow with your eyes. I don't always do that with everything. And I know you're supposed to like work in like unevens, I hear, like threes, but for some reason, most of the time those collage pieces will have like one other piece that's similar most of the time. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. So next morning, I've actually took an iron to this because I want the wrinkles to be there, but I also want it to be pressed. And my idea is that I wanted to get gold in these cracks, but not enough gold came through. A little bit of bronze. So I'm going to draw it in, but I want it to be kind of soft and subtle versus like a Sharpie pen. And I'm deciding to go with like little patches of, not patches, little dotted lines to represent like some stitches maybe, like God sews us back together. But I don't want these lines to kind of like dominate the whole picture. That's why I decided to use like some gold metallic. I considered a Sharpie pen, and obviously you saw how I tried to rub the gold in thinking it would seep in the cracks, but it didn't. It didn't really do that. I think this'll be cool. Just kind of represent like when we go through a hard time, we might get a little like wrinkled up and ruffled up, and things may become chaotic in our life, but God uses all those things in our life, the chaos, to make something beautiful. Like he turns all those bad things into, like it, when we submit it to him, he has a way of doing something about it and turn it into a testimony. And so I really like that idea there. And then he presses us out again, makes us smooth again, and just beautifies our life. And these cracks that we previously had that he stitched up together, they're now part of what makes us beautiful and stronger. Probably aren't those best stitches in the world, but the stitch line is just very disorganized. Maybe God uses different kinds of threads on us. So basically I'm just trying to put some lines wherever I see the wrinkles. This is what the final version of it looks like. I'm pleased with it. Maybe rushed the golden stitches a little bit too much, but I still think it looks just fine, and I really love the message of this, how God repairs us and stitches us back up with golden threads and makes us stronger than we ever were before and makes us more beautiful. I think that's an important message to remember as we're healing. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. I did it in real time because I narrated it all the way through. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe you learned something or got inspired in some kind of way. And I hope you're really blessed. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. And thanks again for watching. Sending love and hugs. Bye again.